All right, we got ourselves a community update here, giving us some information on some of the things that are coming to Space Marine 2, as well as some of the Q&As answered for you guys. But in my typical fashion of upfronting the knowledge in this video, let me break down what I understand to be coming to the game. Firstly, we have an update coming very soon with the NEO-VOLKITE pistol, which will do accumulative damage over time. It seems to be some sort of like beam pistol that you hold down and it does damage. Kind of think of the Sentinel beam from Halo. And it'll be available on the Bulwark, the Vanguard, and the Assault, I think it was. Hold on, let's find out right now. Bulwark, Assault, and Vanguard. God, I'm so smart. So that will be coming soon. And then the very beginning of December, we'll be seeing the Dark Angels Cosmetic pack that will also come with the capability to color the eye lenses of your helmets. In addition to that, though, there was some mentioning of other content coming with the, is it with the NEO-VOLKITE pistol or not? It's with... Yeah, so not with the NEO-VOLKITE pistol, with the Dark Angels pack at the beginning of December, we'll be getting a new operation mission, which looks like it'll be alongside or fighting against the Thousand Suns, and that will be coming out again at the beginning of December to bring us into the new year where the new season would start. Now for the Q&A, a lot of it's nothing too crazy there. Mainly the big things that they are talking about are new melee weapons. They said that while we would like to do that, the subtext to what their response was, we don't have the dev budget to pull it off right now, is what it looks like. So no new melee weapons are planned, is from what I can tell from that answer. It looks like they're trying to take a look at the capability to edit your faces if you want to do any helmetless characters in operations and what have you. They are taking a look at the capability to edit tabards on the Bulwark, but they're saying that there's an actual limitation on how to pull that off effectively and have it actually have good quality. Outside of that, though, there's tons of other questions that we're going to be taking a look at. That's the down and dirty of this community update. If that's all you wanted to know, please feel free to shut the video down and get back to enjoying your time in Space Marine 2. Before you head out, though, please don't forget to like, comment, and or subscribe, because each one of those things does help me out in a huge way. And head on over to my Twitch, where I stream Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. I'm actually currently streaming right now as I record this. So swing on by, have some fun with us. We're currently doing a heraldry contest where people are showing off their drip for their Space Marine. But let's get started here on the October community update for Space Marine 2. Okay, so getting into the nuts and cookies, that's not a sentence or term, but I'm going to stick with it. They pretty much just kind of recap what happened here, 4.0, and then the feedback following them to 4.1, and how that kind of hit and how people responded to it. Tweaks on weapon balancing and what have you, difficulty and AI, all this stuff that if you've been following the game, you now know what's going on here. But for upcoming content, we have the NEO-VOLKITE pistol. This is another update. It's coming soon with a brand new weapon. Now, I've read this as its own patch, which also has weapon balancing. This as a patch after, because of the way that they're kind of broken up with a following later this year. So if you've already read these notes from watching Chapter Master Valrak or any other people that have already covered it, by all means, go ahead and let me know if you think it's not like that. But I think that this is two separate patches. Another update is coming soon with a brand new weapon, the NEO-VOLKITE pistol, as I've said, and it's a thermal weapon with a cumulative damage, meaning I think that you hold it down and it just generates damage over time. Its heat rays have a deadly impact on organic matter, incinerating flesh into ash with explosive force and jets of flame. So I don't know if it's like you hold it down and then it explodes after a certain point. If it accumulates a certain amount of damage, then it explodes, or if there's any real explosion going on. I'm really interested to see how this is going to play for the character, especially with the classes that are getting it. Bulwark is going to get it. So Bulwark, it'll be interesting to see how if this will take out the plasma pistol as the contender for the best weapon for the Bulwark, right? There's no reason to not use a plasma pistol with the Bulwark. It instantly knocks things out of their call-ins. It does good amount of damage, and it does a lot of big explosions. A lot of fun stuff. Assault here, it'll be nice to see them getting a different weapon, but the one thing I like about the heavy bolt pistol is that it is kind of a crack shot weapon. I'm going to shoot, jump into the air, swing my hammer. If I have to spend a lot of time aiming and shooting with the NEO-VOLKITE pistol, it might slow down the pacing of the assault. Vanguard, I don't want to say the same thing because the Vanguard doesn't really have the capability to jump up in the air, but they are still a very mobile class. So it'll be interesting to see how NEO-VOLKITE will push itself into these classes. The nice thing though with the Vanguard is they don't have any other option other than bolt pistol. So this will be I think probably an auto pick for them because their primary is going to be whatever their primary is and their secondary is just a bolt pistol. So it's an easy thing to kind of slap on. On top of this edition, this update will also come with buffs for several firearms. So I'm assuming maybe another pass on the bolt weapons, hopefully all the pistols. So what I want to see here too is the bolt pistols, the heavy bolt pistol, getting a little bit of love so that the NEO-VOLKITE pistol doesn't become an auto pick. I want it to maybe feel like there's a little bit of contention there, right? Or contention, is that a little bit? It's a contender. I wanted to feel like, oh, okay, do I want to go with the NEO-VOLKITE pistol to do this? Or do I want to go with the bolt pistol, which will do this? I think if they make the NEO-VOLKITE pistol this thing that's really good against Tyranids, and the bolt pistols last a little bit better against Thousand Suns, it'll be a better distinction between, okay, hey, I'm going to jump into a Thousand Suns match. Let me go swap off my bolt pistol. Or it makes sense to have a drop pod to go swap off into a pistol from a VOLKITE pistol, depending on what you're doing in the middle of the match, whatever it is. Which goes to reason, I'd like to see a map where it's half and half versus, oh, this is all Tyranids, this is all Thousand Suns, or here's Thousand Suns with a little bit of Tyranids sprinkled in. I want one where it starts off with Tyranids, you kill your way through a bunch of Tyranids outside of like a Thousand Suns Citadel, and then you get into the Thousand Suns cookie jar. That'd be fun. I don't know, riffing right there. We're riffing. Moving on. Later this year, around early December, will come the much-awaited Dark Angels chapter pack, along with a new enemy, the Zangor Enlightened, which we thought was the Zangor Shaman, and a new PvE map set at Demetrium, Obelisk. So, what is this? I didn't even watch this. Oh, here's the gun. Here it is. Here's me talking about all the things that this gun could possibly be, and here it is. Which this is not a very cool representation of it. I'm not going to lie. I'm not watching this going, wow, this is really going to make me want to use a NEO-VOLKITE pistol on my assault. Because rounding that corner, I'd rather have leapt up into the air and smashed into all these Tyranids with my Thunderhammer. So it's going to be interesting to see how this kind of works its way out into the game and how what its place is really going to be alongside the classes that can use it. Now back onto this. With Demetrium, we have Obelisk, and I'll show that in a second. On another note, we've seen your feedback about blocking weapons, feeling unsatisfying to play with, and are currently in the process of reworking them. So thank God that will be a bit of a change here. I've just been notified in chat that Vox Liberatus is basically half and half, that it starts off with Tyranids and ends with Thousand Suns. It's not really like a full half and half. I want like a full half and half. And here is a little teaser for Demetrium. You can see, looking pretty nice, looking pretty sexy. Now, for our ideas, these are things that were submitted by people. So let's go over what you guys had for your ideas, your suggestions, and their response. So new melee weapons, like I said, adding a new melee weapon is something we'd love to have later. However, it also takes a lot of time and production resources to integrate. Again, that reads to me like it is a budget issue. They don't have the budget to pull that off right now. Hopefully in the future. I mean, they just hit 4.5 million players. So hopefully they can get that and Games Workshop can go, hey, here's extra $17. Make it happen. More campaign missions. We're currently not thinking about adding new campaign missions in Space Marine 2. We rather focus on creating new operations and Eternal War content. In my opinion, I think that's the right way to go. Would I like more campaign missions? Sure, right? More story is always fun. Narrative is always cool. But I think just as far as dev budget goes and the ease of getting it approved, operations and Eternal War are probably far easier to do stuff than simply creating brand new story campaign that has a lot more moving parts, a lot more oversight from GW, all sorts of stuff. It's pretty easy to say, hey, we're going to make a new map and hey, here's a narrative for the map. You approve a GW? Okay, cool. Let's go ahead. So I think that's a more realistic kind of thing for the future of the game. Eternal War party size. We're currently working on implementing a custom PvP lobby, which will have score limit, time limit, class limit, and so on changes that you can make as the player. So it looks like they're not going to be increasing it for the Eternal War mode, which again, I'm personally okay with because I've played so much Destiny or so much Call of Duty in my time that playing against a pre-made is just a toxic portion of the game, and it makes it very not fun for people that are solo, duo, or trio queuing up. So I am pretty okay with Eternal War party size staying at 3, personally. That's a personal preference for me. Heretic Astartes playable in operations. This will not be implemented due to Space Marine 2's specific setting, how operations are designed, and even the game as a whole. Again, I agree with this. I don't want to play the Heretic Astartes shoehorned into a mode that is meant to be played as the Adeptus Astartes. I'd rather they just got their own game. I wish, like, if people really, or if people, I want to do it too. Like, I want to play the Night Lords. I'd rather just play a game as the Heretic Astartes and have it be a whole different approach to the way Space Marines are, right? We think of Space Marines, we think of Space Marine 1, Space Marine 2, and we think of, oh, it's a surgical operation, Battle Brother, Operation Steel Rain, and all this crap. I'd like to see kind of show that behind the scenes of the Heretic Astartes. Like, hey, I've got a scrounge armor from this guy because my armor is from the same armor during the Siege of Terra. Or, hey, it's more of guerrilla warfare and less of overall outright war. It would be very interesting and very fun to play a game centered around that rather than let's just slap Heretic Astartes into a mode where they're all supposed to be Ultramarines anyway, right? So I'd much rather have its own game. Add the possibility to replay the campaign prologue. Whilst not a priority at the moment, this is something that we might consider in the future. Consider adding a bonus reward for players using Quick Match. This is something we are considering adding in the future as well. I think, yeah, absolutely add a bonus reward. Get people in as much as you can. I would love to see that. For customization here, color lenses. We are ready to release the color lenses with the next big update, which will bring the Dark Angels chapter pack. So we're going to get the NEO-VOLKITE pistol, and then the color lenses and the Dark Angels chapter pack, as well as the operation and the new enemy, all seem to be coming at the beginning of December. More than 4 customization slots. This is not a priority right now, which is unfortunate because I would like more. I would love to have more. I would love to just have a whole page of them, really. But we'll come back later on this. So I would really like to see that. It doesn't seem like that's a big hurdle dev-wise, but I don't know the behind the scenes of it, right? Customization add-ons. More customization will come in the future. More precise customization options is a must-have as well. So I'm wondering if this means, hey, we'll be able to edit portions of the shoulders or the war gear or the whatever. And I would really like to see that. I would really like to see a lot of individual customization on the already existing kind of platform what we've got, right? Like, hey, yeah, here's the chest piece, but I really don't want that tilting shield there. Can I remove the tilting shield, or can I move the tilting shield to the other shoulder? Whatever it is. I'd love to see little tiny precise customizations on top of that. People in chat are talking about the power axe already being in the game. I don't think that counts as adding a new weapon to the game. I think that's something that the power axe could just be simply, all right, now it's turned on for operations. Here you go, have fun. I'm talking more about like the lightning claws. That's an example of a melee weapon I would like to see added to the game that there's no current existent portion of it in the game as is. Or the eviscerator, right? Like that would be so sick if they added that with the Blood Angels, but it looks like that's not a priority right now. More helmet customization and patterns. This is something we're actively working on. It will arrive in the lifespan of the game, which is weird. But I know that a lot of these things have issues with localization. They are done in a different language and then given to us in English. So it will arrive in the lifespan of the game must mean something in another language, because that is a very cryptic, vague sentence. Just saying, yeah, between now and we decide not to work on it, we'll add helmet customization and patterns. So got to see what that means. Ability to recolor cloth pieces and tabards. We can consider adding this option later down the line, but creating a satisfying level of quality for this feature is harder than it looks, which I absolutely hate. I really want my tabard to be able to be custom out, different colors, whatever it is. Because like if I wanted to make a Death Watch Primaris, which is only a thing with the most recent editions, I need to color that tabard green, or any other kind of customization, different chapters and stuff like that. They would have a different colored tabard. If it's just simply coloring the tabard, that'd be the biggest portion to it. Okay, yeah, different tabards and so on and so forth. Sure, whatever. But just coloring it would be a huge step, and I think we really absolutely need that for that full customization. Lieutenant color customization. This has been greenlit. More customization is coming for helmets corresponding to other chapters. Very excited to see or if that's coming or when that is coming. Change the skin color of your Marine. We're currently working on an option to add head customization to your Marines. Really huge on this one. Really excited about it, because that way, like if you're playing, say, the Salamanders, their skin, their eye, the whites of their eye, they all have to be completely obsidian, right? Like pitched black with red pupils. That's what I want to be able to do. Make a true salamander character. Or if I'm playing like the Blood Angels, I want to have those flowing blonde locks of Sanguinius. I would love to have that level of customization. I never, ever, ever want to play without a helmet because it's just the same canned helmet that everyone else, or same canned face that everyone else has. So really would like to see that added to the game. So they're currently working on it, and I'm really excited to see how that pushes itself out. But allow Deathwatch icons to be placed on the right shoulder. Yes, this is something already in the works, so that is coming as well. Another person in chat just mentioned the white scars top knots. Yeah, absolutely. Or the spiky red hair of the Blood Claw, Space Wolf. All sorts of stuff would be a lot of fun to do with that, with the customization option for faces. But that concludes our coverage of the October community update. So guys, thank you so much for watching here today. Go ahead and let me know in the comment section below. I'm pretty excited about a lot of the stuff that they've just mentioned. Nice to know that we'll be getting the NEO-VOLKITE pistol soon. I was hoping we'd get the Dark Angels cosmetic pack alongside that. It is a bit of a bummer that we have to wait until the beginning of December, but at the same time, it looks like we'll at least have a lot of stuff to hold us over. If I have to think about this from like a dev point of view, it's probably the better thing to put all of this content in December. I don't think that they planned Path of Exile 2 to get delayed, but if you take a look at what's coming out in November, you have Call of Duty, which just launched. You have Path of Exile 2, which was supposed to be in November, is now in December 6th. You have Stalker 2. Typically, as a game developer, you don't want to stack up against the big scary things that are going to take the limelight away from your game. And I think that pushing this patch, the major content patch of this season, outside of the opening one, into December allows the chance for your players to actually play it. I think had they released it in the middle of November, it would be sandwiched between too many big launches, big games coming out, that a lot of people would not pick it up until later in the year or whatever it is. So it's probably the best thing to keep momentum for the game. I still think that there are something that can be done to PvP to help them out. And I definitely think one of the things they're just not talking about in any of these posts are connectivity issues. I think that is a big thing that needs to be done for people that are playing randomly. If you're playing with your friends, it doesn't seem to be as big of an issue. But if you're playing and you simply go ahead and queue up randomly, then you definitely are probably going to encounter some form of connectivity issues, either in operations or Eternal War. And I think that's like a big elephant in the room that's not been addressed in any notes so far. So I think even just addressing it, even just saying like, hey, we've heard that you guys are having these problems. We're looking into the back end. We're talking to Epic, whatever it is, to try and fix this. I think just hearing that for people is going to be a good step forward for Focus so that they can kind of create that relationship with the people that are having these problems so that they don't fucking feel crazy. But as always, guys, go ahead, let me know in the comment section below how you're feeling about all this. I'm really excited for the future of Space Marine 2, and whenever they add Blood Angels, it'll be a great goddamn day. But as always, have a good one and take care.